It's back. Hat check, sunglasses check, Pepsi check, notes check, sources check. Let's go. Welcome back to Golden Blooded, everybody, and all we do here is college football. So if you're a college football fan, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, feel free to send gear to represent you and your team. Look around. That's what my background is made of. So if you want to be a permanent part of Golden Blooded and my background, send gear to represent yourself and your team to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. There are 15 undefeated remaining teams in FBF college football. Now, some of them are undefeated because they're good. Some are undefeated because they're lucky, and some are undefeated because they really haven't played anybody good yet. So I'm going to go through all 15 of the remaining undefeated teams, give you their best wins, their toughest games, and the chances that I'm giving them of finishing the regular season undefeated. We'll start with the team that's non-ranked, that's undefeated, and then work our way up through the rankings. So that's how this is numbered, not based on their chances of going undefeated. So the first team I want to talk about is unranked Coastal Carolina. They are undefeated. Their best win, I guess it's their home win against Army. I don't know. Their toughest games remaining at Marshall, Appalachian State, at Virginia, and at number 25, James Madison. Coastal Carolina is undefeated, but they haven't looked great, and they really haven't played anybody good. So their chances of finishing the regular season undefeated, not great. I do not think Coastal Carolina will finish the season undefeated. I think they will finish with 2 losses. So enjoy being undefeated right now, Coastal Carolina, because the losses are coming. The next team, number 25, James Madison. Best win at Appalachian State. That's a good win. Especially for a Sun Belt team, that's a good win. Probably the best win you could pick up in the Sun Belt as of right now. Toughest games remaining. Marshall at home, at Louisville, at Old Dominion, and then Coastal Carolina at home. I think James Madison has a decent shot of finishing the regular season undefeated. I think they're a good team, and their road games at Louisville, at Old Dominion, those are winnable games. Now, maybe they pick up a loss between those 2 road games, but I think their chances of finishing undefeated, as far as the regular season goes, decent. The next team is number 18, Syracuse. Wow, they are still undefeated. But their best win was a questionable win against Purdue, 32-29. A lot of people think that the refs gave them that game, and if you go back and watch the game, it seems like that could be the case. Now, their toughest games remaining. They get number 15, NC State at home, on the road to number 4, Clemson, and then at number 14, Wake Forest. Chances of Syracuse going undefeated in the regular season, in my opinion, bad. No, I do not think that Syracuse will go undefeated. They've gotten lucky so far, especially with that Purdue win, and road trips to Clemson and Wake Forest. You're probably going to lose both of those games, but before you get to that, you're going to enjoy one more great win against a ranked NC State. The next team is number 13, TCU. Their best win at number 19, Kansas. That's a good win. Toughest remaining games. Number 8, Oklahoma State at home. Number 17, Kansas State at home. And then at number 22, Texas. I think the chances of TCU finishing undefeated, pretty good. I actually think they're pretty good. Number 1, I think TCU is a good team. Number 2, I think they've already been tested. And number 3, that's a winnable remaining schedule. TCU has a good shot of finishing the regular season undefeated. Now, they also have a trip to Morgantown, but West Virginia hasn't been all that great. TCU is better than West Virginia. Next team, number 11, UCLA. Wow. Best wins, number 15, Washington. That was a good win at the time, but Washington lost another game. Now they're not ranked. And at number 11, Utah. Now that's a good win right there. Toughest games remaining. At number 12, Oregon. And then number 7, USC. Chances of them going undefeated, in my opinion, I think they're good. I think basically all they have to do is beat Oregon on the road, and they're going undefeated. Because number 1, I think that's going to be their toughest game. That road environment is tough. And number 2, if they can go on the road and beat Oregon, they will have the confidence to beat USC at home. Even though that'll probably be a 50-50 split. Won't be a true home game. But UCLA is a good team. They are a good team. I give them a good shot of finishing the regular season undefeated. That's crazy, isn't it? The next team is number 10, Penn State. Best win, I guess that first win at Purdue. Toughest remaining games, at number 5, Michigan, and then a home game against number 2, Ohio State. So just because their schedule isn't tough, I think they have a decent shot of finishing the regular season undefeated, and Penn State is a good team. If they can go on the road and beat Michigan, then their chances skyrocket as far as finishing the regular season undefeated. The next team is number 9, Ole Miss. Best win was their home win against number 7, Kentucky. Toughest games remaining. At LSU, then you get number 3, Alabama at home, then you get number 16, Mississippi State at home. I think they have a decent shot of finishing undefeated because they do get Alabama and Mississippi State at home. Going to LSU, that's tough, but Tennessee proved that it can be done. I mean, they obliterated LSU. So I think Ole Miss has a decent shot of finishing undefeated. They have a decent team, and if they can beat Alabama, that will determine if they will go undefeated or not. The next team on this list is number 8, Oklahoma State. Now, their best win is at number 16, Baylor, but I don't think Baylor is all that great of a team. So Oklahoma State still has something to prove. So their toughest games remaining are number 22, Texas, at number 17, Kansas State, and at number 19, Kansas. I think Oklahoma State's chances of finishing the regular season undefeated is decent. 2 tough road games at Kansas State and at Kansas, but those are winnable games, and Oklahoma State is a good team. Their defense did take the step back that I was anticipating, but their offense has taken a massive step forward this year. So I think they have a decent shot of finishing the regular season undefeated. The next undefeated team on this list is the Trojans of USC. Their best win at Oregon State. I mean, that is a good win, but Oregon State has fallen off. Now, their toughest games remaining. At number 20, Utah. That's going to be a tough one. At number 13, UCLA, and a tricky home game against Notre Dame. Chances of USC finishing undefeated, not great. Not great, and that's not because I don't think UCLA is not good. I just think those 2 road games and then a tricky Notre Dame game at home, you're going to pick up a loss in there. 11-1 is not undefeated, but 11-1 and winning the Pac-12 can still get you to the playoffs and one step closer to the national championship. So I'm not saying you're not a good team. I'm just saying your remaining schedule is not conducive for an undefeated season. It's there, the chances are there, but 2 tough road trips, so I'm giving your chances of going undefeated in the regular season, not great. The next team, number 6, Tennessee. Best win, well, their last win at number 25, LSU. I mean, they also got a road win against number 17, Pitt, but Pitt's no good. And then they got a win over number 20, Florida, but Florida's no good. Toughest remaining games. They get number 3, Alabama at home. That's going to be the big one. Then they get number 22, Kentucky at home. And then at number 1, Georgia. Chances of Tennessee finishing the regular season undefeated, not great. Not great at all. I mean, their best win is on the road against, I guess, an average LSU. You got Alabama at home, Kentucky at home, at Georgia. That's not good. That's not good. I think Tennessee is good on offense, but they still have a lot to prove on defense. The next team that's undefeated is number 5, Michigan. Best win, I guess the home win against Maryland. Toughest remaining games, well, they get number 10, Penn State at home. Then they get number 24, Illinois at home. And then they have to go on the road to number 2, Ohio State. I guess their chances are decent. They have to get through the home games of Penn State and Illinois. Then it could turn into like a 50-50 coin flip if they can beat Ohio State on the road. I don't know if they can do that or not. I mean, they're a decent team, but they haven't been tested. That's going to be a hostile road environment. Ohio State is beatable. They haven't looked unbeatable yet, so they could do it. So I'll say decent, but that's about it. Next team on this list, number 4, Clemson. 2 great wins. At number 21, Wake Forest, and then a home win against number 10, NC State. By the way, all these rankings were at the time of the games played. So Wake Forest is actually ranked higher, and NC State is ranked lower. Toughest games remaining. At Florida State, a home game against number 18, Syracuse, and at Notre Dame. Chances of Clemson finishing undefeated, good. I think their chances of finishing undefeated is really good, actually. They're getting better and better as each game passes. The remaining schedule not all that difficult. In fact, they have played their toughest games on the schedule already. So I think Clemson has an excellent shot of finishing the regular season undefeated. Next team is number 3, Alabama. Their best wins were on the road at Texas and then at number 20, Arkansas, who's not ranked anymore. Toughest games remaining. At number 6, Tennessee, a home game against number 16, Mississippi State, at LSU, and at number 9, Ole Miss. The chances that I give Alabama of finishing the regular season, not great. Not good at all. Alabama has looked good at times, not good at other times. This is a very, very, very tough remaining schedule. I mean, look at their best wins. At Texas, I mean, I guess that's decent. At Arkansas, that's turned out to be not a great win. So Alabama's going to be tested. and I do think that they pick up at least one loss. Now, that's not to say that they can't win the national championship. Of course they can. All they have to do is win the SEC championship, get in, and then win those games. But as far as finishing the regular season, not good. I don't think Alabama finishes the regular season undefeated. I really don't. Now, the next team, number 2, Ohio State. Best win, a home game against Notre Dame. Again, another team that hasn't played anybody great. Toughest remaining games, at number 10, Penn State, and then a home game against number 5, Michigan. So their chances of finishing the regular season undefeated, I think it's decent. They don't have a tough schedule. They haven't really played anybody that tough yet. They're going to have 2 really tough games, but that's about it. If you go on the road and beat Penn State, then you will beat Michigan at home. So, yeah, I do think Ohio State's chances of finishing undefeated is decent. And, yes, they have a great offense. And Knowles, the defensive coordinator, has fixed the defense. It's that road trip to Penn State that will determine if they finish with no losses when the regular season ends. And finally, the last team, number 1, Georgia. They've been bumped out of the number 1 ranking. They're back into the number 1 ranking. They've had great games. They've had terrible games. Who is Georgia? What are they? Their best win is against number 11, Oregon, which is a very, very good win. Do not underestimate that win. Toughest games remaining. A home game against number 6, Tennessee, at number 16, Mississippi State, and at number 22, Kentucky. I give Georgia a decent shot of finishing the regular season undefeated, but you can't have any more bad games, because if you have a bad game on the road to Mississippi State or on the road to Kentucky, you will get beat. I think those 2 games are the games that will determine if Georgia goes undefeated. I actually think Georgia will beat Tennessee. That's a home game. If that was in Tennessee, I would definitely be picking Tennessee. Tennessee's looking better and better. But it is at home. I think you'll win that. So you have to get through that back-to-back road trips to Mississippi State and Kentucky. So I give you a decent shot because I think you're capable of being a really, really good team. Y'all let me know in the comments section, who do you think has the best chances of finishing the regular season undefeated? That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you on my next show.